All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. We're feeling a little bit bullish now. We're going to be talking to the one and only, the man who's made one of the top plays in 2023. It feels like at this point, crypto gaming, it came back, and it felt like Playable came back even stronger. We've got Old Bull, Jonathan, Chief Strategy Officer, CEO, and founder here with us today. We're going to be touching base on what makes Playable so special, Avalanche, and more. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of That Crypto Gaming Show. Like and subscribe as always. Let's get Old Bull up on the screen right here, and hopefully the music a little bit less loud. How's it going?
Going great.
I love it. I told them right before the stream, I was like, you're not going to be able to hear anything that I'm doing right now. So I'm a maniac in the works, but that's kind of what makes it special. So let's get right into it. This is the first time I think you're on the channel, right? This is the first time. Yeah.
This is, yeah.
Yeah. So you've got this thing going on where when you go onto the actual website for Playable, you're going to go ahead and notice that your face is plastered all over it. And you've got this comparison a little bit with another fan of the channel on Gala, Bitbender. A lot of the same thing going on where you're on the AMAs and we're all hyped to see you. And I'm like, okay, well, so I'm guessing he's the brains behind the operation that actually gets in the face of it all. And it's like, okay, this is what we're doing today. This is how this is going. And I'm like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. How in the world did you randomly decide Playable games with, first off, with a 3, right? Because that was a little bit of an interesting choice. And why the heck did you get into this crazy space with a bunch of maniacs on it?
Well, first of all, Bitbender's got better glasses than me.
Does he?
He's got a stylist, I think. I think he's got someone styling him.
Yeah.
He's looking very cool.
He's got a leg. Yeah.
So how did we get into Playable? Well, I'm not the CEO, by the way. I actually have a CEO, Michael. He's got 3 business degrees and he's come from corporate. So
wait, was the website wrong or was it me?
No, the website's right. Just have,
okay.
But I'm Chief Strategy Officer. So, which sort of just means guy that has ideas and then shouts down the line, see who can make them happen.
Oh, so, yeah, I just saw it. Yeah, I'm the P brain here. That makes sense.
That's all right. Nice. It's all often founders are the CEO, but that's not my bag. It's not what I'm really good at. So, I'm a big ideas guy. Broad. I like the term broad brush strokes, and then my wife actually is very detailed, and Jet, my son, is very detailed, and Samuel, our other son, is detailed. So, I'm very lucky to be surrounded by people.
Oh, Sam's out here too.
Yeah, well, Samuel's 22 and Jet's 21. So that's the family.
That's crazy.
That's the Bull family. Yep. So the 2 boys are gamers since they were 4. So they've been playing games since they were 4.
Yeah, that's awesome. You got them early.
Yeah, Jet used to sit on my knee when I was playing World of Warcraft, and I taught him how to run my rogue and just grind for me. So he used to run around with his rogue and just kill everything for hours. And you'd come back in and there's Jet still on the computer and he's 2 levels higher, you know. It's like, wow, that's cool. So yeah, Sam's gone off and done, he's just finished his diploma in game development and looking at going back and doing a degree now in game development. And Jet's being sort of mentored by Michael and heading down the business side. So Michael keeps setting Jet tasks to learn all the stuff that he needs to know about actually running the business side and, you know, dealing with tax departments and federal departments. And in Dubai, everything's done through licensing. So there's a lot of paperwork for licensing. And so they don't have taxes per se, but we do pay sort of similar things, not as much, but they have licenses and it's all very time consuming. So Jet's doing all that and running that side of the business. And he looks after sort of like the crypto side as well and works with the crypto devs. So the Web3 devs. So, yeah. So
he's kind of being incubated by Michael in a way.
Yeah. So both the boys, Sam's 22 and Jet's 21. So we've got a 10-year plan. And the plan is that Amanda and I will step down probably in about 8 years' time. And that will be our retirement. We're old enough to sort of say thanks very much. It's been fun. And the boys hopefully will Sam will be able to look after the game development side and be working with Daniel, and if Daniel's still involved with the company in 8 years. He hasn't. I think he will be, but we sort of snagged Daniel on a couple of year agreement when we first got him, but I think he's settling in really well, so it's looking really good. So Sam runs the game side and Jet will run the actual business side. So that's the goal. So we'll see. But we've got, like, Michael runs the business side now, and then, Sam runs Sam up next to Michael on that chart there.
Yeah.
Insurmountable. He's our CTO. He's got a degree in computer science and is a Web3 specialist. Jordan's a Web3 specialist. Jacinto's Web3 specialist. So they're our actual Web3 devs. And Jacinto's got a doctorate in materials science. So, yeah, we've got some real heavy hitters on the team, which is why our web stuff, a lot of people say that our actual back-end stuff is really clean. So we have paid well to get the good guys and build out a good team.
Yeah, would you say in Web3 it's important to have those qualifications like degrees, etc., or is it more of a additive than anything?
Well, I don't think there's any actual degrees in Web3.
Yeah, right.
Our guys have degrees in computer science and programming, and then they've all self-educated basically. So they've been, like, Froggy is Sam, Insurmountable there. Froggy started, I think, programming like Web3 stuff for a couple of mates who asked him to help right back when NFTs were starting out and stuff. So I think you've got an understanding of the tech and then you move towards Web3. I think universities are now starting to teach it now, but these guys have actually, our teams run, there's only 13 teams that have made a Avalanche subnet. So they've got experience that not many people in the world have. So, yeah.
Yeah, and thank God they have a subnet, because the gas fees on Avalanche right now, they might as well be illegal. I was I'm not gonna lie, I was looking into this meme coin, it was like Cock Inu or something like that, and just to buy it on AVAX, the gas fees are an entire AVAX, and I think an AVAX right now is like what, $40 or something like that. So ridiculous for what it usually is.
$39 today.
Yeah, they've got Beam. I looked at the gas fees on Playable. A lot of people asked me about it. It's like 5 bull coins to do a transaction on there. It's nothing. It might as well be free. So at least you've done something right there, which is like, thank God that you guys aren't on AVAX directly. So,
well, it's working. That's working well. I mean,
it's working well.
I've been making the joke that AVAX always wanted to be like Ethereum, and they're just starting to look like them now.
Dude, it's feeling like they're not the ETH of this cycle. I think Solana's the ETH of this cycle, and I think AVAX is the Solana of last cycle. So it's,
that could be true.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how that goes, right? Cock to the moon, worth the... God damn it. Here they go with the meme coins. All right, anyway. So now that we've got this established on the team, looks like, you've got a plan to, at some point, give this to your sons. And, hopefully this is a legacy. I mean, this is clearly what's happening right here. A 10-year plan, the tokenomics match it. I think it's something, what, like 5% of the supply... Is it 5%?
10% of the supply every year.
Yeah, every single year. Exactly, for 10 years. It goes ahead and gets distributed. I'm sure at some point you guys are going to do some kind of change on that, because obviously we want to continue distribution for nodes, etc. And that comes with success. But a lot of things have been happening in the playable sphere. I don't know if people notice this, but, a little something happened. And for some reason, I covered this probably a month ago. The little node prices, I think they said $2,200 at some point. And now, what is that again? $6,500, which is kind of ridiculous. But why I wanted to point it isn't because I'm like, oh, we're all mooning or whatever. It's more so because, I mean, you're the guy, chief strategic officer. See, look, I got that right this time. You probably know a lot about the runway of Playable and what's been going on within the actual company internals. How have you been managing all of the volume that's been coming in for Playable? Because these Playable nodes, I guarantee, have raised you millions of dollars. And these games, I assume, are a little bit different in terms of the development scale. Maybe you can break it down for the viewers that are like, what is the point of a bull market for a token? What does it even do for development?
Well, I mean, I got into crypto for two reasons. The main reason was I met a guy who was a bit, I'll use the word autistic. I think that's probably accurate. And I bought a laptop off him, and he was basically, I said, "What are you doing?" He was in a real rush to get out, and he was quite agitated. And it was almost like he was going to do a drug deal. And I said, "So where are you headed?" And he goes, "I got to buy Bitcoin. I got to buy Bitcoin." I'm like, "What?" He goes, I've got to go buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going up. I've got to buy it. And I ended up bending his ear a bit and saying, "Tell me a bit about this Bitcoin." And he spent hours telling me, literally hours. He just fell into this hole of, and by the time I left his house 2 hours later, or 2.5 hours later, I went home and studied. I found Andreas Antonopoulos and learned all about Bitcoin and just deep dove right into the people that were right all about it. So for me, it was like I got the bug. So what really got me excited about crypto though was Vladik Batarin, and he said that crypto is the best way to fund ideas, and I'm an ideas guy, so that really caught my attention. So he said normally with a big company, you work for years slaving away, going broke. You finally get a foothold, you grow the company, and then at some point, 10 years later or something, you actually do an IPO, so a public offering with stock, and then you actually get the funds to grow the company. Well, Vladik said, why not do that? What crypto does is allow it to happen up front. If you've got a good idea, let's fund it. But don't fund it with people putting in tens of thousands of dollars. Let's fund it with people putting in $10. Let's get millions of people to put in $10, and now the company's funded. If it doesn't work, it doesn't really hurt anyone because they didn't commit their whole life to it. But it does give these ideas a chance to grow really quickly because funding changes a lot. So that's why I got into crypto. I thought this is a really clean idea, a really clean way to actually raise funds. And it's got a fun side to it as well. Like it's actually like, it's got that almost like betting. So you make a bit of a bet. Will this coin do well? Will that coin do well? It's more fun than stocks. Stocks are very serious and staid, whereas crypto is much more, well, let's have a bit of a flutter. We'll have a bit of a go. So we chose the node system copying off Gala. And the reason I chose that was because I really like the structure of it where you get to build your community around the node system. And those community members end up being the lifeline for the whole company once you move onto the blockchain itself. So you actually develop, they actually become part, not just an investor in the sense of putting money into something, but they're actually a supporter of the whole program. That's why we always use the word supporters, because without the nodes, it doesn't work. So our node program's done really well. We got very lucky at the end of the bull run. So 2022, February, we launched on the 2nd of February, 2022, and we caught that last 20 days, 30 days of the bull run. And we raised about $8 million in that 3 or 4 week period.
That's great.
Yeah, it was just off 20 days. And we've been living off that money for the last 2 years. So all of our staff have been paid. We literally had not made a cent. We weren't selling any of our coin. We made a commitment to protect our coin price as much as we could. So Playa3ull wasn't selling our coins that we have that we earn to run the company. And we just lived off the money raised through capital. We didn't buy any houses. We didn't buy fast cars. We didn't do any of the stuff you hear crypto founders run off and do straight away.
No Lambos and jets.
No Lambos or jets, besides my son Jet. But yeah, we kept him. So basically, we just made a commitment that we were going to make sure the company got to where it was fully funded before we start taking, and some would argue what we deserve out of it. We've got to, like, we should get something out of it, but we've just taken what it took to pay our rent and literally just survive for the 2 years. So, and then this last September, the market still hadn't started. And we've been building all that time. So we've got 37 staff. We've been paying those 37 staff. We've got about a $200,000 a month cash burn that we have to pay every month. So by the time we pay our 37 staff and build games and do all the stuff you got to do and do a little bit of advertising and pay for getting listed on exchanges and all the things that go with running a company, that money keeps chunking down. So we got to September this year and we were doing our budgets and we were down to sort of like, we've got enough money to really last until April next year.
Oof.
And that's the halving, but that was getting really scary. So we decided to do a node sale. And so we actually did a half price node sale, one off, never to be repeated, just to extend that runway out to the end of 2024. So, because we know that we're going to be well into the bull run by the end of 2024. And the node sale went really well. We sold all the nodes really quickly. And then in the midst of that, some of the OG supporters said, well, that's unfair because we don't have money right now to buy one of these cheap nodes. So you're rewarding people that are new, not us OGs. So we made a separate sale that if OGs wanted to buy a node, they could have the same price for 90 days. So that's finished now. And that was amazing. We actually got another large chunk of money there. So we now have money to go right through probably to the end of 2025. So it's we've got a lot more than what we need. But it's great. It's a lovely place to be. And we're fully geared up now, ready to take advantage of that. And as the bull run kicks in, it's going to be exciting times.
Isn't it crazy how that works? Where you're pretty much on the brink of extinction, and then a month later, you guys are set for the entire bull market. That's it.
Well, let me just clarify. We weren't on the brink of extinction. We were looking down the barrel of having to start laying off staff, and that's not what we wanted to do.
Okay.
I mean, the beautiful thing is we could actually bring this right back down to probably 10 people, and still be an operational company. But that wasn't. We're not building games properly then, and we're not doing the stuff that we want to do. So we really wanted to avoid doing that. And these people are our family. Like, they're part of what we're building here. So that was not any way, shape, or form what we wanted to have happen. So
yeah. On my last live stream, I literally talked about this, where for the entirety pretty much of 2022 to 2023, I was living off of the profits that I got in the last 2 months of the bull market, which is pretty much when I got in. And I'd gotten all this debt, and I was like, oh God, am I going to survive? And then boom, 3 months happen, and I'm great. I'm fine. No debt.
Yep.
We're good. It's like, things change like that in these markets. It's insane. So with this being said, I mean, things have changed drastically since then. Your brain is probably not throbbing every 5 seconds because you're stressed over the situation. Let's talk about your games, because I've been seeing a lot of announcements on them. And let's actually go ahead and showcase these. So Nexus was the first game that I actually got ahead and played. I know that Nexus is getting an update, and it's going to be better, and you guys are super excited about that. But in its initial form, what was the feedback for Nexus? Because Nexus, it's kind of like, is it your flagship? Would you say it's your flagship?
Oh, it's our first game, yeah.
It's your first game, yeah.
The Nexus and Ordinem have both been built to be 10-year games. So we didn't want to build those first few games that were what I call throwaway games. Like in a lot of people say, oh, we're building a game and you'll be able to play it and you might play it 4 or 5 times and then that's it. And you've bought a couple of NFTs and now you don't really want to play it anymore. Well, Nexus isn't that. Nexus is like League of Legends. It's being built out to be a long-term game. We've got a goal for Nexus that probably 2 years away will be where it's starting to hit its proper straps, where we've only got the bare minimum of stuff in there. We've got, like, if you saw the sheets of what we've got coming for this, like we've got, I'm not even going to say what we've got coming, but we've got some pretty exciting stuff. And what we've tried to build at this point is the base game and make it perform the way it should. And you've played it. I'm sure you'll agree it's smooth, and it actually does.
It's not there yet, but it's definitely smooth.
Yeah. Well, that's been our first goal, is get it smooth, and we've spent the last couple of months getting the balance fairly right. So when you go into it now, no one gun has massive advantage over the others. Whereas when we first started, it was like when we first launched, that first couple of days, there was a couple of things there that were really unbalanced, and we had to actually go back into some hot fixes and try and fix them. But we've got people now playing pretty much every day, and they're now giving us feedback to get this ironed out. So it's getting pretty close now to a nice clean balance. And now we're going to start adding in, month by month, we'll be adding in a couple of abilities. There's going to be some things like Timo bombs coming, and so you'll be able to select these as something you choose in the shop. So unlike League, where you're locked into a character, you can only choose what that character does, and you have to build the same way each time. In this, you might say, I want Timo bombs this time, I'm going to bomb my whole lane. But next time you might say, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to use something like, a jetpack or a Malphite slide in Knockup, or, they're the sort of things we're looking at. So it's just going to get better and better over time. And we're in no rush to have that. We're not trying to be League of Legends. I love the saying, it takes 18 years to grow an 18-year-old. I play League of Legends every day. I've played 2 games today. I play every day. I play a couple of games a league. So, but it takes 18 years to grow an 18-year-old, and it takes several years to build a good game. So if anyone looks at a game that just came out, all you can ask yourself is the base here? Is the core mechanics, is the look and feel heading in the right direction? That's really the question you should be asking. I often hear influencers say, we played this game and it wasn't very good, or whatever. And I'm thinking,
it's like, shit.
What are you comparing it to? If you're comparing it to a 15-year-old League of Legends, which has, I couldn't even imagine how much money they've got to spend on that, and how many devs
they have
got working on it.
so yeah, they're good.
Yeah. So that's
at
Nexus.
the same time, though, if you looked into the intro of League of Legends, they were competing against some pretty big titans, like Heroes of Newerth that was developing with the Dota founders. They won, though. They won because of their monetization model. Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
That was their big advantage, because Southeast Asia loved free-to-play games, and they were charging people for Heroes of Newerth. So League got way more players, way more adoption. I'm always thinking, if there's going to be a similar situation in crypto gaming, maybe when crypto pumps, more people are interested in this, and maybe we'll have that market effect. But it's always something very interesting to look at, because it's kind of a direct comparison of something that was debatably a much worse game that just got more adoption because it was more fair to the gamers.
Well, Hon was much more complex, wasn't it? So
yeah, it was.
It was a harder game to play. I chose League.
I did too.
Yeah, my son put me on to League. We were playing Hon to start with, and I just was having trouble with it. And my son then said, let's have a look at League. And it was just that little bit simpler, a little bit easier to understand. And so I was able to get more competitive with it, which...
It's the clarity, isn't it?
That's where it helps, yeah.
Do you think that... Because I played Nexus, and there was really no like recommended builds or anything. I definitely think that's something that's very important in games like that. Just make it as brain dead as possible, so somebody hops on the game and is just like, okay, here, I get in game. I buy this weapon that it's recommending me for this specific build. If I'm going against some dude that loves shotguns, I should probably have a longer range weapon. I know it seems obvious, but a lot of crypto games, I feel like, lack clarity. And clarity might be the big thing that's stopping us from what we consider actual adoption. Because actual adoption isn't 1 billion people playing video games. It's more like, getting 1 million people to download this game and try it out and having some decent retention numbers.
Oh, we've even got lower figures than that. We're chasing 10,000 people playing a day. That's our goal. So if we can get 10,000 people playing a day, no crypto games really got that happening at the moment. So, there's... I'm talking about proper games. I'm not talking about something that's like a... We call them clickers. So it's a clicker.
Oh, okay, yield farms. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so we're not talking about that, but we're basically talking about like a proper game. Very few crypto games have got more than a few hundred players. So we're about to start rolling out our play to earn. So that comes out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. We're just doing tests right now, and our biggest fear is that the hackers will come and try and bot it and all that sort of stuff. But we're going to proceed with it anyway and take the chance and see how we go. It can always be turned off if it ends up being a disaster. But
okay,
we're obviously going to try and use this to build our numbers and get people playing it. And as we make the game better and better, that's going to get easier and easier. So it's now just a waiting game. Time has to tick by. The devs need time to do stuff. And like, your idea is a great idea, like, recommended builds. But we've chosen not to do that right now because we thought there were other things that need to be done before that. So as these things get done, then we'll get on to the, there'll be tutorials. There might be like we've actually made a practice session that you can do now, so you can get in and play on your own and just actually have a run around and feel what the guns feel like. And so yeah, it's all coming. What you're talking about is exactly right. That's where it's got to go.
Yeah, I mean, clicker games, am I right? Everybody loves them.
Well, they like earning money.
They like earning money. Yeah. Play to earn, it's coming. How is Playable trying to do play to earn? Are we giving people tokens? Are they getting skins? Is there a limited distribution of this? Is it some weird complicated curve? How are you doing?
Okay, so the first step we're doing is we're giving tokens.
Okay.
So we're going to do a reward chest, which is simple as if you win one game in the 24-hour period and you play for more than 1 hour, you qualify, and then there'll be a set amount of tokens that are divided amongst whoever qualifies. So next week, if it comes out next week, we only have 100 or 200 players that play this game at the moment. So they will get a large share of those tokens. And obviously, if we end up with 10,000 people playing a night, everyone will get a bit less, but because it'll be shared.
Makes sense.
So that's how we're going to start. It's the cleanest, easiest way we can do it. And we are currently, the dev team is currently building out a CSGO type skin system, which is
loot boxes. Let's go.
Reward chests. But yep.
Reward chests, yeah. Right.
So it's basically going to be, so there'll be a set of skins released, and then those skins will vary in thousands of different ways. So you'll get a skin that will be somewhere between pristine and worn. And the rarity will end up being what the community decides looks the best. And different skins, some skins will look really good pristine, other skins will look really good battle worn. And so it'll be,
I like that.
It'll be the community that decides which ones are the best looking ones. And you'll be able to trade ones on the marketplace if you don't like it. You achieve your achievement for the day, you get a reward chest, and then you open it and you get a skin that you don't like, just pop up on the marketplace. And you you can dump it, you can swap it, you can trade it, you can sell it. If you get a rare one, if it's worth $1,000 and there's people want to pay $1,000 for it, some people might say, I'm going to sell that. Other people might say, I need $1,000. I'm going to keep that. It's going to be worth $10,000 in 5 years' time. So, that's all going to evolve over time. But this system, this game within a game with the skins, we're doing that for all of our games. Like even for our Ordinem, our card game, we're doing a similar thing with that. The cards come out, and as you earn them, they're different rarities. So it's going to be a lot of fun to collect them and to actually build up your pack of what you actually want.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You could even go as far as to make some tournaments limited to specific NFTs. So maybe we can start a little Ordinem hat cult of people on Nexus that have the little hat and they just fight against each other over and over and just like hoorah over the Ordinem hat. So there's plenty of ways to do this. Maybe it's a little card on his head.
Yep.
We can do all kinds of stupid things that people love doing. I would say, are there patterns with these as well, or is it just pristine to battle worn?
There's going to be like different. So it depends on the skins. So each skin will be different, and the devs are working out the skins for what looks best for the skin.
Okay.
But like I think you've seen the Mantis skin.
I did.
There's a camo version of that, which looks astounding. I love it. It's really good.
Yeah, I've got one of these.
It's actually my favorite skin, the camo one. So
Can we see it?
So no. It'd be too hard for me to get out, but I can get you a copy. I'll send you a picture, and you can.
Okay, yeah, we'll take
it another time.
Eventually.
But yeah, so the skins that are already out, that they are going to be really rare because we're not releasing them again. The ones that got locked off on release that have already closed, there's only a few hundred of them. So anyone who owns one of those, they're most probably going to. I would expect when we've got 10,000 players playing, I would expect those particular early skins are going to be quite valuable. So, but you never know. That's the game of collecting skins, isn't
That's
it? You just
founder
never
stuff,
know.
right? You're taking the risk. It's like give a Black Desert example. You couldn't even sell those skins. People were hyped and they flexed them in game. I'm sure if this game takes off, it'll be the same. And are there titles in this game at all? I don't think there are titles. It's just the name.
I don't know what you mean. Sorry.
Oh, the thing like where it's like Slayer below his name.
No.
Nah. You gotta add it at some point with their names.
You want some titles?
Hell yeah, we do.
Okay,
Hell yeah,
well,
we do.
You make a note of that and send it to us, and we'll have a look at it.
All right, good. Let's do it. All right, so we had a question in the chat about doing swaps on Playable. So very simple. If you're trying to get this, decentralized exchanges are the way to go. I mean, I think we all believe in decentralized exchanges at this point. Trader Joe's pretty awesome. Trader Joe gets a metric ton of volume. They have extra exchanges. I mean, like, I'm not the biggest fan of them, to be honest with you, but I like Trader Joe. Trader Joe's cool with me. It's just your own pick on there. At the end of the day, there's plenty of ways to buy cryptocurrencies, which you have to do your own research on. I want to go ahead and pivot this because you were talking about AVAX and you were talking about developing Playable. You said, what, 13 people have built subnets on Avalanche? Okay. So why Avalanche, and why did you build these subnets? Like, what's the timeline on this? Because there's so many people that randomly took the risk on AVAX before anybody even knew what it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, part of that's luck. I mean, our main dev Froggy was an AVAX fan. Originally, we were going to build on Matic, Polygon.
Yeah.
And we liked Polygon for a whole bunch of reasons, mainly because it's part of ETH and like it runs on the side chain to the ETH network.
Okay.
But AVAX is all programmed in Solidity as well. And AVAX did have a bit of a rumor at the end of last bull that they were going to head down the gaming route and really support games and build their chain out for that. So we thought...
Oh, so they told us, we just ignored them.
Yeah, it was mentioned, I think, several times that there's going to be gaming companies coming to AVAX and they're seeing a bit of an option for it. So...
Okay.
But yeah, it was more that our devs just liked it and it was a good thing. And then when it came to building our own chain, then obviously AVAX had the subnet option. And so I don't know if people understand what that is, but basically our chain is a version of C chain, which is the main AVAX chain.
Yeah.
And AVAX supplies all the tech, all the security, all the updates, and we just pay a licensing fee, and we get to build out our platform on a C chain that has no traffic. So that's
how that works.
Yeah.
So you're essentially a fork that is getting constantly updated by the AVAX team because they're giving you all the tech and you've got the licensing.
Yeah.
Yo, that is genius. That makes a lot of sense.
It's very clever of them. And
yeah, it is.
It just solves all of the big problems, because the last thing I want to do is allocate 5 or 10 devs just to be looking after security, because you've got to do it. You've got people's money at stake. So you've got to be really good with your security. So when Froggy came back to me and said, hey, Jono, this is how we think we can do this in the most efficient, most professional, most expert way, it was just a lay down misère when we saw it. It was just, okay, it makes a lot of sense. Ava Labs is superb. They literally are a phone call away. And we had an issue last week where something happened on their end, and literally within minutes, there's tech devs from Australia talking to America, and it's all happening. So it's great. And that's the sort of... Well, that's the sort of thing you need, because you got to have a trusting relationship where you can both get what you need out of the relationship. So, and Ava Labs has been superb, really good. Can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, it feels like I'm just covering every different Avalanche project at this point. Like the only thing that's hyped right now is just a bunch of AVAX projects, which fair enough. Like there's nothing wrong with that. There are some ETH-based projects that I think are really fun, but I mean, Avalanche, they got lucky. They got a lot of gems here. And so, talking about gems, I remember when we had first chatted back in August. Okay, this is a little bit of a spicy one here. There was this game, and it's called Dogs of War, right? And you were telling me that this was the game that you were the most hyped for back in the day.
That's my baby.
It's your baby. What is going on with this thing? Because I'm
Well,
sure it's being developed right now, and I'm sure it's coming out. I think it was next year or something like that.
we're hoping
Hoping.
to be running around mid-year
Okay.
next year,
These
and
dogs.
open beta end of the year.
Okay.
So that's what we're aiming for. It's a huge game. This is big. It's got several things in it that no one's done before. In crypto, I should say. It's been like almost everything in gaming's been done one way or another in normal
Corona.
games. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
that's the story. Yeah, Corona 718, I think it is. Yeah.
It didn't
So,
discriminate. Okay. If you got
so
it, you rolled the dice and knew the answer. Okay, this story is very interesting. It
yeah,
reminds me of, like, indie films. Okay.
that's a proper Corona that actually kills you.
Yeah, it actually does. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this is basically based on
Daisy,
I don't know
right?
if you know, yeah, Daisy. So which is my favorite game. I've played that the
I
longest.
played it for
And
like 3 hours and then left because I got wrecked. Yeah. Continue.
yeah, it's one of those. You're best to always start on a half-empty server, so you got plenty of time to learn. There's a lot of stuff to learn, and you got to learn how to survive. And yeah, so the idea with this is pretty simple. It starts off as a survival game,
Okay.
and it moves towards a PvP base building, base raiding game. They're 45-day voyages, I suppose. Like
Is that how long the servers last?
Yeah, we run and the servers reset in 45 days.
Okay.
Yeah. So as you build stuff on a server, the server gets more and more
Oh
full.
my.
So if you've got 100 people or 200 people on one server and they're all building bases and they're all storing gear, the server gets heavier and heavier. So you got to get to a point where you just say, that's the end of the time. We're going to reset, start again. And so the gameplay goes in a couple of different sections. The first few days out of the 45 is what we call the hustle. And no one's got a base. No one's got anywhere they can store anything. So you're basically finding loot. So good guns, armor, whatever, out and about in the world. You're trying to stay alive because other people are out there looking as well.
Right. It's a survival game.
Yep. And then you got to get that to the trading houses to sell it. And that's how you build your money up. And when you get enough money, you start building a base. So by about day 5 or 6, you've now got, if you're working with 3 or 4 guys, you're going to have enough money down to start building a base. Base building materials are expensive or time consuming if you want to do it all without spending money. You got to chop down wood and get stone and collect, it's a whole thing. Once you got your base built, you got to start thinking about how I'm going to earn income. So we're going to be having drug farms. And
drug farms. Nice.
Oh yeah, marijuana. You got to grow
Silk
marijuana.
Road. Let's go.
So,
if the FBI is listening, please.
Yep. It's just a game.
It's just a game.
Yeah. And so there's an oil rig out in the ocean that you got to fly a helicopter to. You will be able to take a boat out to it, but boats are dangerous.
Okay.
But the only place you can sell the marijuana is to the drug lord on the oil rig.
This is
and so
okay.
That oil rig becomes a hot spot because you got to sell your drugs each day to keep the money coming in to buy the guns.
You're drug dealers.
So yep, everyone's
God.
drug dealers.
Oh God.
But it's but the oil rig becomes this, like you're dropping out of helicopters at high speed, shooting out people. You got to.
This is going to be really interesting.
Oh,
okay.
It's phenomenal. It's really,
yeah.
it's really
I don't
good
think
fun.
kids are going to be playing this game.
Well, our games are basically built for 18 to 36-year-olds. So that's
yeah, which is good because my demographic is like, my demographic is a bunch of 35-year-old men. So you're fine. Don't worry.
That's what we're looking for.
Well,
so
Starvin Martian is a little bit more younger in terms of demographic. Like this is a pretty basic, base builder game, right?
This is just a farming game. So this is not the sort of game I enjoy. We're actually a little bit
like
panicked.
Town Star. I just suffer when I play it.
Yeah, it's slow. It's supposed to be on your third screen, off to the side, and you go to lunch and you leave it running, and when you come back, there's a whole bunch of stuff to click on and collect.
You need your dopamine. Yeah.
Yeah, and some people love it. I mean, we've been doing the closed out for this last week or 2 weeks, and the comments in the closed alpha have been amazing. People have been saying they really like it. We've got about 18 pages with suggestions that we're going to be looking at. We're about
18
to.
pages. Wow.
So people have gone right through it. We've had one guy, he's up to level 44 at the moment, which is amazing because I've only ever got to level 11, I think.
Did he do it free to play?
Yeah, it's all free to play. There's this is all just testing at the moment. So there's no gems or anything in it.
Oh, they're going to be gems? Is it just microtransactions?
You'll be well. That's So you'll be able to have NFTs to speed things up.
Okay.
You'll be able to, and the same thing will happen here. You'll be able to find them in the game. So the more you play, you'll find an NFT and you'll be able to sell it in the marketplace. And so
it's a lot like Townstar, where you have sales, or maybe you find them in the game and they have some kind of boost.
Yeah.
And then you use that boost to get more of that resource.
Yeah.
Is there kind of like a finite amount of this resource, and then everybody goes wacko mode over it, kind of like Townstar's coin? Or is there, balance on the economy at all?
Well, all of our games use Bullcoin to purchase the NFTs and stuff. So there's no coin in the actual game per se. Just cash, I think it's called, which is just the in-game
token.
Okay, dollar. Yep. For competitions, when we do competitions in this, there'll be a set of NFTs you need, and there'll be variances of that. But if you're going like the corn route, there'll be a set of NFTs you'll need to be competitive in a competition.
Makes sense.
If you're going the animal route, you'll need a set of NFTs to help you. And if you don't have those NFTs, you will not win the competition because you'll be 5% slower than the guy that has the NFTs. Yeah, so you just won't be able to beat them. So to compete in the competitions, if you want to actually compete for money, you'll need to own a set of NFTs that make you competitive. And that meta will change over time, and the game will be like grown and changed. But right now, like as I said, we're not playing this game of our games are finished, and this is what we're listening to the community, we're taking their feedback, and then we're saying, what do you guys want?
Yeah.
This is a game I don't play. This is not my style of game. So I'm not really involved in this one. So we're listening to people that like this sort of thing and taking on board what they want. So yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, just get the guys that actually want to play this stuff.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of Townstar, and I mean Townstar was a success, obviously. So hopefully it goes the same way. All right, next game. I think you might be a little bit more excited about this one. I'm personally not. I hate trading card games, even though I'm preparing for a trading card game tournament literally after the stream. So that's gonna be fun. Ordinem. Tell me about Ordinem. So Ordinem might be the game that makes the most sense, to be honest with you, because it's trading card games. You sell the cards, right? Is that it?
Well, this is NFT heaven, isn't it?
Like it's NFT, literally NFT heaven. Yeah.
So you buy packs of 7 cards, and you hope that in that pack is your chewing
you got
gum.
booster packs.
Yep, you can buy those, and you can earn cards in game that'll be coming. But basically, the idea here is you build out your deck. There's 5 different classes, and or orders, as Sam calls them, and I like it. They basically have different ways of playing the game, and so you learn which one you like the most. So when you start, you'll be able to choose a base deck for free. So all of our games are free to play. We don't force anyone to buy an NFT. Like you can play, the whole game's unlocked.
You're just going to get wrecked if you don't have an NFT.
Well, no, it's not pay to win. No. The base decks are competitive. They are actually competitive. So, but when it comes again to competitions, a guy that's got a full 200 or 300 cards to choose from, if he knows your way you play, like if you play all the time and he knows the way you play, he knows the cards you like, he might be able to have, since he's got so many cards, he might be able to build a better deck to compete against you. So,
all right. So there's no elite cards or anything like that regular users don't have with their base packs?
No. Damn, it's going to be it's Magic the Gathering, but with crypto. That's what we're doing. We're trying to make a proper card game that's long term, and we'll make our money out of just making new versions of the same sort of card. So new characters, new orders will come. So people that are playing for a long time, just like League of Legends skins, you just go, I want my new Annie skin this week because there's a new brown bear instead of a red bear, you know, so you go and buy it. So, but the cards, the game again.
That's so true, dude. It's so true.
Oh my god!
You just
look
want a
at that
different shade and pay like $20 for a skin. I'm the
So-
stupid guy that would do that. But
Yeah. Oh well, not just you, man. It's everyone. Right.
Everybody just wants to. Because
Right.
the thing is, if you're playing 1,000 games on a champ, you want to at least rotate.
Yep. Oh, I like Singed when I play Singed, and if they change the smoke color, I'm
I
in.
hate Singed. Ultimate cringe. All right, tell me about the last one. So we've got War of Steel. So okay, so let's give them the TLDR here, because I think the metaverse also, you said something about that being developed. I saw it on the roadmap. Looks like this one's actually coming out sooner than we think. I'm not very bullish on metaverses, to be honest, because it feels like it's really hard to build these things out. Obviously, you know, you could do mini games with metaverses and just build it out over the years, which I'm sure is probably what you've thought of already. Tell me about War of Steel, and then let's get into the metaverse.
All right. So War of Steel is a battle royale with mechs. So we've just taken a really fun genre, battle royale,
Just
and
like War of Tanks. Have you ever played that?
yeah, it's going to be. It's only going to have 3 versions of the mech. So you're going to have like a rogue, fast, nimble, high DPS, but easy to kill. You're going to have a mega tank, which will be large and hard to kill, but when he hits you, you're not going to wish you a hit.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be like an in-between, sort of like a marauder, that's sort of like a bruiser in League of Legends or something. So a bit of a mix. So if you got a high level of skill, you might go for the rogue. If you got low skill like me, you might go for a tank.
Try to get lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and if you're halfway in between, you might say the marauder's your style. So, and there's several ways we're looking at how we're going to do that, where you're dropping in, whether you choose your mech first before you drop in, or whether you find mechs on the ground. And then different skins and stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff we're working on there. This should be ready mid-year, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be that real nice mix of fairly short games, like 20-minute sort of gameplay, 20 to 25-minute max, and shrinking circle, forces everyone together, nowhere to hide at the end, and it's on for young and old. And there's going to be that real dynamic between the big mechs and small mechs, and yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah, you're gonna have counters. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you'll be teaming with people as well. So like you'll be trying to.
Are any of these games gonna be on mobile?
Ordinem and Starvin Martian will be. War of Steel can't be. Nexus can't be. They're just too big. They're PC games.
Okay, that
So
makes sense. Yeah.
they will probably go to Xbox and PlayStation when they allow crypto. So, so once the world decides to let crypto in, then those proper PC games will take across the other platforms. We've got all the skill. All our devs can do that sort of stuff. There's no problem with that. So it's
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot easier to get crypto integrations on there next year too, I'm sure, after the halving. So hopefully that happens, right? What are your thoughts on the Bitcoin ETF news? People were getting really hyped over, what was it, Bitwise Bitcoin ETF ads that were popping up all over YouTube. You think we're getting there?
Either it's the biggest scam they've pulled,
right?
They're just baiting everyone to crash it. But I personally believe it's coming. I personally believe
Hopefully.
the narrative's changed this year. So we've seen up until the beginning of this year, crypto was still a money laundering, drug farming, scam that you'd lose all your money in, and you'd be crazy person to ever put a cent into it. And in September, October, Larry Fink came out from BlackRock and said it's a flight to safety. Like, how do you get flight to safety from money laundering, drug cartel scam? It's like, so yeah, it's and now, yeah, it's my gut feeling is it's coming, and they've been positioning themselves. There's been Bitcoin days where there's $3 billion going through Bitcoin in a day. So
Yeah, just a small amount, yeah.
I think they're buying. So yeah,
You think they're buying. I mean, yeah, I think I know who's buying as well, and it's definitely not retail investors.
yeah, it's not
I've been
none and pop.
yeah, I've been talking to my family and stuff, and I'm gonna be honest, none of them are into crypto yet. They were
Yeah, I
into
know.
crypto in 2021, so we'll see when they get back into crypto. I'm probably gonna start selling off my playable and everything else. But until then, you know, I'm not trying to get those institutions buying my coins, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so cool. And you've been setting this up. I mean, every game I've been hearing about, you're like, okay, mid next year, we're trying to make this launch. You know, Starvin Martian, I know for a fact this one's supposed to launch this year, question mark.
Well, we're out in so we've got this to closed alpha. So
Okay.
this is actually a working game. You can play it right now. You can go play it.
For note holders, right? I saw that.
Yeah. So that's our commitment to get the games. We're trying to get 3 games out a year.
Yes.
And then what we can't control is we can't promise when they're going to be finished because there's just so many variables that happen along the way. So we know, so Starvin Martian will be at open beta probably by February. So we would think February, March. So that'll be a fully operational game, NFTs and everything in it, all working properly. Ordinem, same thing. So first quarter, February, March next year. That'll be out, fully operational. Nexus is already out. We're about to, but we're still building. These are so. As we finish a game, so Nexus has 4 full-time devs still working on it. So when you finish a game, you got to leave devs on it to keep updating.
More than spider tanks.
Is it more than spider tanks? Did you say?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, 4 full-time devs. You don't need that many devs. People think you need like 300 different devs. Most of the people are just like graphic designers and people in the back end. Usually it's not the full stack developers that are building these games, and it's like 30 of them. So yeah, so Nexus getting there, play to earn coming out pretty soon. Apparently because play nice is overrated. Very interesting little quote there. I'm looking forward to playing it. You got to let me know when this comes out so I can actually go ahead and play it and cover it and do the play to earn. I'm sure tournaments make a lot of sense in this game. Private lobbies, all that kind of stuff is a no-brainer for stuff like playable in most of these games.
Absolutely.
Obviously, as adoption comes, it's going to be way easier to convince people to actually try these games out. And I'm sure that it'll be like League of Legends, where League of Legends was a pretty game. But then a lot of people started playing it, and then, you know, more developer funds, more concentration on it. And then, you know, things go off to the races. You've got your runway all settled. There's so much going on. Positive news, finally, from the crypto gaming space. You've hedged it. You haven't just gone crazy with everything. So that's good to hear. But that's pretty much going to be it. It was a pleasure to have you on the channel. If you guys want to check out Playable, I'm going to leave all the socials below. They've been supporting the channel for quite some time now. And to be honest, pretty much we're one of the top plays in our channel in general. So it was a pleasure to have you. Old Bull, hopefully we can have you again sometime in the future.
I should still be alive. That should be good.
You will be. You will be. I'll make it. Yeah, I'll ask Jet to keep you alive for sure.
He's systematically trying to kill me.
Yeah.
If I don't show up, it's Jet.
It's like one of those like telenovelas where he's just trying to take over. No.
He's
like
actually really good.
brand.
No, both the boys. I mean, we couldn't be prouder of our family. It's been a hard road these last 18 months, and
it has. It really has.
So,
God, it was so bad, but it's good now.
It's good now. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic over the next 18 months. It's going to be
hell
really good.
Yeah. Let's make sure it happens, right?
Will do. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks, everyone.
Absolutely. See you guys.
Ciao, ciao.